groovy.
Yoo-hoo, and thanks for tuning in to another cult horror movie review.
Well...
When it comes to the subgenre of folk horror, Witchfinder General is one of the classics, a unique period piece of terror inspired by true events which may very well make your blood curl.
Perhaps just an old man's bad dream.
And if that wasn't enough, Vincent Price is once again in the starring role. If I had to compare it to something, I'd say this film is a bit like The Wicker Man set in 17th century Great Britain. Anyway, back to the review.
Past noon, you unkempt lout. Get up!
Amongst the many different qualities of this motion picture, one of them is the way it captures the historical era in which it takes place. I always enjoy a good movie that sheds a light on a lesser-known event of history. The year is 1645, during the English Civil War, and Vincent Price plays a blood-curdling, ghastly Matthew Hopkins, a real historical figure who was known for his brutal and merciless witch hunts. In a time where anyone who could count past 10 was suspected of practicing witchcraft, this guy went around the countryside literally leading an inquisition against poor innocent peasants who had done nothing wrong and brutally putting them to death without even winking. This movie features real investigation methods used back then, like pricking with a sharp object for the devil's mark, or the swimming test, which was really a I win, you lose kind of situation, let's be honest.
Should you then sink, we will know that your confessions are false. If, on the other hand, you are seen to swim or float, then your confessions of witchcraft are proven beyond a doubt.
Although, remember this is only loosely inspired by true events, there are things that happen in the story which are totally made up. Especially for a low budget, they did a great job in capturing that feel and that aesthetic of rural, peasant England. The look feels authentic. Vincent Price, in one of his lesser-known roles, is great at Hopkins. He plays such a terrifying figure who's blinded by evil, and is convinced that torturing and killing these people is doing the right thing. That's what makes him so scary.
Yes. Nevertheless, it could have ended my career for good.
And it's even more disturbing that witch trials really did go on back then. That kind of stuff was real, and some people were victims of those superstitions. I found Ian Ogilvy to be good in this too. He plays a cornet whose wife has been assaulted by the Witchfinder and his men, and a priest friend of his is hung after being wrongfully accused of worshipping the devil. This is not just a horror movie, but also a revenge story, as Ogilvy is determined to get his revenge on those evil men, even if it's the last thing he does, riding chivalrously on that beautiful horse of his. Let us not forget the beautiful Hilary Dwyer as Ogilvy's fiancée. And another actor which stood out for me was Robert Russell. He plays an associate of Hopkins, a real sadistic maniac who enjoys every second of the vicious interrogation techniques he leads. Speaking of vicious, I was surprised to see that there's a fairly big amount of gore here, which was pretty daring for the big screen back then. It's that thick, bright red blood which reminded me a lot of the special effects from Dawn of the Dead by Tom Savini. The costumes are pretty cool, the rural look of the shooting locations are great. The only minor issues I'll point out is that the scenes during the night are very hard to see. I don't know where the lighting had gone to, but I could barely see anything. Another issue I'll point out, without giving anything away, of course, I will say the ending was underwhelming and disappointing. I don't know what happened, but it felt rushed and cut short, and I think the screenwriters could have added a lot more there. There was lots of potential for something more grandiose. But apart from that, Witchfinder General is a well-made special movie of its kind. You won't find too many like it. I was comparing it to The Wicker Man earlier because the real terror and sense of dread this film has comes from the general atmosphere, from the sense of unease the characters give off, and from the terrifying situations that they're in. So would I recommend this? You are darn right I would. Go seek this one out. You won't be disappointed.